Hey everyone, thank you so much for stopping by the channel. If you're new, please consider subscribing. And to those of you who are returning, I thank you so much for coming back. Also, everyone, leave your comments to let me know what you think about the topic and give the video a thumbs up if you don't mind, if you enjoy the content. Okay, got all that out the way. So this is what I wanted to talk about, you guys. Something that has been on my mind, and I wanted to know what you think, how it's affected you, or if it's affected you, those of you who were in the Witness organization. As many of you know, I was born and raised in this particular organization. And one of the things that I have always had a problem with and always felt bad about is how it affected my extended family relationships. One thing I wanted to share before I get into just my feelings about this is this little piece of a song that I found on jw.org. I'm going to try to link the little video in the description if you want to see this little corny video. But it was called something about, it says something about we are all part of Jehovah's beautiful family. Okay. And it's this little animated video, but this is a part of it. This is me and my family. We love being a family. We love to do what families do. We can talk to each other. We can talk to Jehovah. We know he cares a lot for me and you because he loves all kind of people and he loves your family too. So in the video, it was like this animated video, like I said, and it was just people from all walks of life, all different nationalities, all different ages, just doing stuff together, like going to the beach or the park or, just hanging around each other. Okay. And so it was obvious that these people were not blood related because of these, like I said, all the different nationalities. But when you look at the song, you can clearly see what it's trying to say. This is my family. Meaning all of us who are in this worldwide organization of Jehovah's people, we can talk to each other. We can talk to Jehovah. And then it says, it has the nerve to say, he loves all kind of people and he loves your family too. Is that talking about your extended family? No, it's not. It's talking about your witness family. When it says, and then it says he loves all kind of people, it's just talking about all of the different people that are witnesses. It's not talking about all kinds of people and your family that are outside of the truth, So I just was like, man, but you could really see how these type of things, even though they didn't have these type of songs growing up when I was young and all these little videos, they had articles and they talked about these type of things in their talks. And this is what made witnesses okay with not being around their extended family because they felt like they had a family already. This was their family. It's really unfortunate because, like, for us, we have a very big family. My mom has 7 siblings and my dad, oh my goodness, did that bird just go poop on my phone? I'm gonna have to get up out of here. It was only a tiny bit, so I'm a hope that that's all that it's doing. Okay, let me try to resume myself. Okay, so my dad had 4 siblings or 3 siblings, 2 brothers and 1 sister. His sister actually passed already. And my mom had 6 sisters and 1 brother. And some of her sisters have already passed. So that's why I'm saying it past tense. But one of my mom's sisters had like 8 or 9 kids. And at this point, a lot of the children have had their own children, now and stuff like that. So I have so many cousins and second cousins and all of this stuff, but I don't know them. I don't even recognize them. If I walk past some of them today, I wouldn't even know that was my family. Recently, my mom's twin sister, who's also a witness, sent me some photos of some of my cousins and their children. And I didn't recognize them. I only recognize a couple of them because they were some of the ones that we used to be able to hang around growing up. Because when we were really young, my parents used to be more okay with us hanging around each other because I guess that we couldn't be negatively influenced as much when we were like 7 and 8 and stuff like that. But as we got to our preteens and teenage years, they started changing that, So I didn't recognize a lot of the ones that were much younger than me because I had already stopped hanging around them by then. And it's just really, really sad. But like I said, we used to hang around them up to a certain point, up to a certain age. And then all of a sudden, especially my mom, she was the stricter one. she started making it to where it was like, okay, if they're going to be coming over, they got to study or they got to go to the meetings and stuff like that. So some of the cousins kind of did that kind of stuff a little bit, but for the most part, they didn't want to do all that. And why should they have to do that? Why should they have to do that in order to hang around their cousins? It shouldn't be required. But to be fair, not everybody is the same, okay? My aunt, my mom's twin that I mentioned, she was a lot different. She was a lot more like she allowed her kids, to hang around my cousins, and she would go see her sisters and stuff like that a lot more. So my cousins got closer to her relatives. But I always wished I did. I always wished I did. I had a cousin that I was really close to on my dad's side, one of his brother's daughters, and she used to live with her dad and stepmom when she was young. And then at a certain point, she went to go move with her biological mother. And we kind of, lost touch while she was there. And by the time she came back after like several years, we were older. So we were in our early teens or something like that. So she called and was asking me if I could go to the movies or the to the mall or something like that, whatever kid, what we used to do back in those days. And my parents had made it clear that I wasn't going to go. I couldn't go. And I already knew why, because she wasn't a witness and she wasn't studying and all that. So I made something up, but I tried to, in a roundabout way, let her know that it had something to do with the fact that she wasn't a witness. And do you know that we never were close after that? I mean, we used to be, that was like my closest cousin, that I was even my mom's twin that had a daughter that they were witnesses. I had a cousin like 2 years younger than me. Me and her was really, really close. But this cousin that I'm talking about, we were super close. And so after that situation, we was not close anymore. Like I tried, once I stopped being a witness, I even apologized, it wasn't my fault and all that stuff. And I'm sure she forgave me. But at that point, it was like, okay, we already done grew apart. We became in our 20s now at this point. So it was just really no repairing it. One thing I thought was really silly was how, even though we didn't celebrate the holidays and didn't hang around our family on Thanksgiving and all that kind of stuff, my mom always found a way for us to get some food though. And I just thought about this because this is a little bit, I'm recording this video a little bit after Thanksgiving 2020. And it's just so funny to think about, because we used to go over there to my aunt's house, the one who used to really be the main one to cook, the day after Thanksgiving. Okay, just to get some plates to go. Okay, we didn't even eat it there. We would just pick up the plates and wrap them up. But we would try to make it look good, of course, and just say our little formalities. Oh, how you doing? How was yesterday? I'm sure that my aunt probably was looking at us, shaking her head like, this is just ridiculous. But of course, she wanted to see her sister. She wanted to see me, her niece, and her nephew. So I'm sure she was just kind of accepting it because we were witnesses. But just really, if you think about that, that seems so anal to just, okay, we can't go the day of, but we could go the next day. It just shows how silly all of those little rules were. I mean, but it is what it is. That particular aunt actually already passed, so I never really got close to her either. It's just sad. But one last thing I wanted to talk about was my great grandmother, who passed some years back. So she was my mother and her twin sister's grandmother, because they actually had a different dad than their siblings. So this particular grandmother raised them pretty much, and their grandmother and grandfather. Okay. So a little bit after they became witnesses, their grandfather passed away, and they didn't go to the funeral because it was in a church. So some years later, after I stopped being a witness, I was visiting with my great grandmother because I really wanted to get to know her after not really knowing her growing up. And one thing that she was saying was how it really hurt her for all those years that my mom and aunt didn't come to the funeral. And that happened when, I had to be like 5 or something like that at that point. So she must have been in her 60s because she passed at 87, because she was telling me this maybe like 2 years before she passed. So at 85 years old, still talking about something that happened 20 years before. And this is the type of thing that I don't think witnesses really see. They just can't get. They don't get it. This is the type of stuff that would bring reproach, if anything. It's not these little things that you think apostates, people who talk against the religion, this whole child abuse stuff. Obviously, we know the stuff that's going on is bringing reproach, but the way that they look at it is why they don't report things like that, because they don't want people to look negatively at the organization. But this type of stuff backfires. So this type of stuff that happened with my great grandmother and the type of stuff that happened growing up with all of my family members and a lot of you out there who've had your family members just kind of kicked to the side because they were not witnesses. That's the type of stuff that bring reproach and would make your family not consider even studying with witnesses. Why would they want to if they see that this is how this religion makes them behave? And this whole concept, therefore, that Jehovah would destroy all of these people who are not Jehovah's Witnesses really sounds utterly ridiculous if you think about the fact that these people are being pushed away to even come and want to learn about Jehovah as a result of how his people are even acting. So why would he hold those people accountable or punish those people by killing them in Armageddon because they didn't want to come and check out this religion that's causing their family members to not want to hang around them? Like, why would he even expect that? That just sounds retarded. But anyway, you guys, I didn't really want to talk too much more about this. So leave me your comments and let me know what you think and how this affected you. Or were you one of those fortunate ones who was actually able to hang around your extended family? I appreciate you all for watching, and I look forward to seeing you on my next video. Have a great day.